So, were you clearing your throat at the beginning of the recording?
I'll cut that part.
No, you're not.
I'm going to cut that part.
All right, cool. We're going to talk about, Wrestlemania the past 2 nights. Mike, you don't sound enthusiastic about this Wrestlemania talk, dude.
I was waiting for you to intro. You normally,
so.
basically, when you say so, and then you were like, did you clear your throat? It's like, are you going to edit that out? Like, blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you just kill it. So then you got to restart. Like, so, we're here. We're talking WrestleMania 36. It happened last night and the night before that. We did a live stream both days. We had Luke. Luke wasn't there. We had Brandon. We had Breach. We had Chris.
He was there. We had Breach. We had Miguel. We had Alex.
We had Miguel. We had Edge is the Best One TV. Back again. It was all kinds of fired up.
We had more viewers than we ever thought we would have. We peaked at 16 and their low point was 8. We averaged about 10 to 12.
There you go. People wanted to watch us, apparently, over WrestleMania. But hey, I'm not saying that, but many people are. So, hey, I mean, first off,
our reaction got over almost 8,000 views.
Well, I mean, is the biz back or is the biz back? I don't know, but I think it's back. I'm not going to say anything other than that. But Justin, what did you do today?
I got up. I was a little hyped off Mania. I was looking at my videos. I had a lot of videos on private from like reactions and reviews I did like my early YouTube career. And when I got my account suspended, like 2015, my account was suspended. And I thought it was gone forever. And then YouTube did a review and I got it back 4 months later. So at one point I thought RKO, the infamous NWO YouTube channel, was gone forever, out of existence. So a lot of the videos I just put on private. But today, because I want to be monetized again, I put them back all in public. So collectively I could get 4,000 views a year so I could get monetized again.
So Justin's back in 2020.
I have currently almost 23 million views on my channel right now.
One might say that it is the RKO, the infamous NWO Redemption Tour.
I did not say it. People are talking in the ether.
Many people are saying.
People are talking. And I feel like it's a revamp version because I don't do solo videos anymore. At least I have at least one person.
That's true. So
I'm giving content honestly people dreamed about. Like Breach, Miguel, like me, you,
what?
Like the click live reactions.
Wait, say that again?
Like I'm giving content people wanted. Like if they imagine in 2012, you could watch a live stream.
2012. You know how many people make wrestling videos nowadays?
I know that.
We're still hanging around. We're the old veterans that are still hanging around that are like, we're WrestleMania 25.
We're the main event.
We're Ricky Steamboat and Roddy Piper against Chris Jericho at WrestleMania 25, and like that's us right now. You know what I mean? Like we're around. We're still making videos. We're still kicking. We're still we're going to the conventions. We're getting a long line for the conventions, but we're not necessarily the big name on campus right now. You know what I mean?
I feel like we're gonna come. I feel like we're coming back, and I'm bringing everybody with me.
Is the YWC back in 2020? That is the headline. That is the question. What else did you do today?
It is a new year. WrestleMania starts a new season. The year is restarted for wrestling fans, starting today.
That's true. It's a new day. Yes, it is.
Like I changed the culture.
I is strong. I is very strong.
Hey, I thought it was an idea. I'm running with it. We got the people, and we're trucking along.
I is very strong.
We're missing Ravi at one point. I didn't say people. I'm not saying people didn't help me along the way currently, because a lot of people are, but my brainchild.
Is that all you did today?
I went for a walk for an hour, and I had to go visit my mom, get her some stuff, because that's pretty much it.
I am bringing back coloring with crayons in 2020. I was sitting here.
Hold on. I've been seeing a lot of people I know like have that.
I think that crayons are just like they're just so simple. It's just such a simple thing, and I mean, it brings you back to your childhood of coloring with crayons. And so I had a box of crayons that I found, and this box of crayons I used as a gimmick in my Road 2 videos when I used to do Road 2 videos for the pay-per-views I was going to, and I drew a title belt on this box of crayons. Well, the thing about this box of crayons is I would hold it up at the very end and I would say like these crayons on Facebook, and then or no, I think I said like this rock on Facebook, and I hold up a rock, follow these crayons on Twitter, and that was like the crayons I would hold up. And let me tell you something about those crayons. Those crayons are brand new. I never opened them once. I just use them as a thing in the videos. And guess what? I'm using those crayons today. Crayons are back in 2020. We're making art with crayons. We're coloring with crayons. We're drawing with crayons. Crayons, crayons, crayons. Mattresses, mattresses, mattresses. That's what I'm talking about. Let's talk about WrestleMania.
Okay, WrestleMania night 1, night 2. We're not going over the matches that were in the Performance Center. We're going over the cinematics that were. Some were filmed in the Performance Center. Some were filmed in a graveyard on set. But these were pre-tapes, and yeah. Well, let's talk about it. What do you want to start with?
Well, I want to ask you a question because we saw the Boneyard match on night 1. We saw the Firefly Funhouse match on night 2, and after both of them, like at the end of the night on yesterday on Sunday, the main thing was which one did you like better, Justin?
I think the I feel like the Cena Bray Wyatt match was funnier because it was meant to be funny. But if you compare it to as wrestling matches for watching, we're gonna go with Boneyard match 100%. But for a segment, because they felt more like segments than matches, obviously because they're filmed, the Cena Wyatt segment match, like this, that as a segment was better.
So if you can go back and rewatch only one, you only have one to pick from right now. Rewatch it. Which one would you pick?
Undertaker, AJ Styles, because I feel like overall that was much better than Wyatt and Cena.
Now I was thinking about this
And I
because
rewatched them both twice. Like I watched them after the match, so I watched each match twice.
okay, I did not watch any of them back. The only thing I watched back was our reactions to night 1, like the Taker match. So
Yeah.
I think I liked the Cena match better. I think that I enjoyed that a lot more than I did the Undertaker one. The Undertaker one, I was just like kind of like figuring out what was going on, and I think by night 2, I knew that I knew what I was getting into, and as soon as like Cena popped up in the Firefly Funhouse set, I knew that something crazy was going to happen, and then immediately they go into like him as himself in whatever that year was against Kurt Angle debuting,
And two.
and from there, I mean, I think a big part of it was the nostalgia in there because you had that you had them going back to the WrestleMania 30 match, and like they had the T-shirt and the little details that they would do. You had Basic Thugonomics, Cena, and I know Brandon said like if they didn't do that last year, like it would have been even bigger of a pop. I popped huge just because like nostalgia is huge, and I think that overall, like the I mean, it was just one of those things where you during that whatever it was 20 minutes or whatever, you didn't think about anything else but what's on TV. And I think that's like, that's the best part about it. You didn't think about the fact that people are, stuck in their houses and no one can go anywhere, and the fact that there was no fans at WrestleMania because they couldn't do WrestleMania in an arena, and
I
it
think
was like it just took me out of everything and it just like made me focus on this banana land of a creative art piece that I was watching on my TV. I
talking
am
about
one for the arts.
the
It was just
one
awesome.
Cena match.
What?
You're talking about the Cena match only.
The Cena match only, yeah.
Okay.
Because the Undertaker match, like that to me was like it's not like I mean like when he came out with the bike, Like, I mean, I was so glad because that was awesome. And when AJ came out in the hearse, I was like, wow, like, okay. I for sure thought that was Taker. I didn't think that would be AJ until it was AJ, and I was like, duh, that's perfect. Um, and like all the different things that happened in that match, like to me, if I had to rewatch one, I would go back and watch the Cena match just because of how creative it was. Not that I'm saying the Undertaker one wasn't creative at all, but it was just like it had a theme and it stuck to that theme. The Bray Wyatt and Cena one, it looked like they got drunk. It looked like they were on some kind of drugs, and they just like started to draw a picture with like like a piece of like a paintbrush, and they were just like that's what they come up with. So like that's why I was like I don't know what the heck is going on here, but I like it and it's a lot of fun. Versus the Taker one, like felt to me like you said, it was like you could submit it for like a movie or like a short film like award or something because
When I think
that's
about it
just how
now,
it was.
the Taker AJ Styles was like the climax of a movie,
Yeah.
where Cena and Wyatt was like Cena has to confront the bad guy, but then he loses to the bad guy. So it's like not the climax, but like the turning point in a movie, you know? Like when the
And like
bad the upper hand, but then Cena
yeah.
has back and like, you know what I mean? Like it's
And
like you're like it's like this weird twist.
and to me like kind of going off what you just said there, the Taker match, that was that felt like it could have been a movie versus the Cena thing, that looked to me like a group of friends got together. They had a couple six packs and they just like, hey, let's film something. You know what I mean? Like let's just like if you go to art school and their teacher says go home, make something, and it's like, well, what do you mean? And then it gets to like 2, 3, 4 in the morning the night before it's due, and you're like, I need to make something. What are you gonna do? And you're just so tired, and you're just thinking of crazy things, and that's what that was, and that's why I enjoyed it so much because, like, I know what that's like, and I know it's like, it's a weird comparison because obviously WWE is a huge company, so it's not like they did it the night before, and it's not like they, didn't have an idea. They probably sketched that thing out like crazy, and they probably like planned this and planned that. Obviously, the SmackDown Fist was like a huge thing, literally, and that's why I just like that one a lot more. Like thinking about it after the fact.
I watched both and I did like the Cena one. But I'll take Taker. But the Cena one was good. Okay, what do you want to talk about first? You want to talk about Cena? I guess I feel like we're on Cena, so let's talk about Cena.
That's fine.
So that opening was very weird. Like Cena comes out, then he gets in the flashes, and then and then Wyatt's Firefly Funhouse pops up. He walks through this door. Cena happens to pop up. He's in there, and then he walks to the door, and then the chaos happens. Pretty much.
Yeah, I mean, like literally once you step through that door, like all bets are off, and that's what I think was like, you weren't sure what you were getting into, whereas like the Taker, like you knew you were going to be in a graveyard, so it's like you didn't know where they were going, and that's what I think was awesome about it.
I liked how they used the weird different parts of his career, like the
Hmm.
ruthless aggression, that big line. He kept missing, and then what did they go to? What did they go after that? I can't remember now. Wow, what am I blanking for?
Well, they had his debut,
Yeah,
and like they went like they were whoever edited that must have had a blast because you know that was insane. Like the cuts between Kurt Angle and Bray Wyatt, like going back and forth, like that was pretty crazy.
what was after that? Why are we blanking?
And then after that was well, first off, obviously we mentioned the fist. That was probably I don't know who thought of that, but that was one of those things where someone was like, you know what? Let's just throw the SmackDown fist in the background. And like the whole thing. Okay, here's the thing. And with this match was like Bray Wyatt got into Cena's head, and this is what we were seeing played out. We were seeing the inside of Cena's head, pretty much.
Cena versus
Like
Cena. Especially you watched.
pretty much, yeah. Cena versus Cena, or Cena defeated. I think I texted this to Chris. I said Cena defeated Cena via Bray Wyatt, like or via Fiend. You know what I mean? Like that's what this was, and that's where I think like people, you know, weren't sure what the heck was going on. You know what I mean? And then they had the kind of like the throwback to
Oh yeah, life.
like Hogan and
Oh, did they
like
do
where he
Hogan
was,
then life?
they were doing, I don't, I think, maybe
I
it
know
was vice versa.
it was main event. It was like I need a tag team partner, and he's like hulking up, and he's lifting the weights, and then his arms get all rubbery because he's lifting too much weights.
Here, I will, let's see.
We're not prepared on this podcast at all. We're just like, hey, let's
I
talk
gotta
about WrestleMania.
find, I gotta find someone like posted something like explaining it a little bit, but basically like the Hogan thing was kind of the idea that Cena isn't like, Cena got a second chance because he was like a bodybuilder. Like he looked like a bodybuilder. He was like set as a bodybuilder, so that's why he got a second chance, and that's what it was kind of like making fun of. And then obviously like the rapper thing didn't work out.
Because Stephanie saw him rapping on a bus. That was a big story. And then there you go. Save Cena's career. He was about to get fired.
And then from there, I think it went straight to Bray Wyatt in 2014. 2014, Bray Wyatt. He was cutting the promo in the rocking chair and all, and that was pretty crazy to see that. And then they cut to like the middle of the match, and it kind of like I forgot about it until afterward when I like saw like a picture of what. Like I didn't realize that in the 2014 WrestleMania 30 match, I didn't realize that Cena like could have hit him with a chair, and like I
Oh yeah, that
think
was a big deal.
Bray was telling him like like do it. So
And
I
then when
think
finally Cena swing the chair, he's turned heel. He's joined the NWO, and that
yeah,
was
it would have
that
shown
turned or movie or whatever you want to call it turned 5 stars. It was amazing.
that
The
kind of
heel
like
turn that
showed that
everyone
like
has ever wanted.
if that would have happened, he would have went down like a heel path or something like. So that was like pretty crazy. And then obviously
Sweet and Bray Wyatt and Cena too sweet each other. I was dying. That was amazing.
I think after that it just went straight into modern day match.
Oh, then he went to what was it? No, he started beating up. He started beating up that thing. He jumped and started beating up, but then it was a pig, right? And
Oh yeah,
then
yeah, yeah. He was beating up Bray Wyatt, and then it turned into the pig.
yeah, and the
And then
Fiend came up. Uh, the
we
Sister
can't
Abigail.
forget about the puppet Vince
Oh,
saying
good shit.
the Dean Ambrose from the Jericho podcast line. I mean, whoever thought of that, that was great. Just a great little like, wink at the fact that it's like, hey, like, we didn't miss that. Like we heard that too. You know what I mean? So that was pretty cool. And then obviously the Fiend beats Cena. Um, and if that would have been a normal match, I think I would have been like I would have been so bored if that was just a regular match. And I also think if you didn't have Edge and Orton already in like a no DQ, like falls count anywhere like kind of match, and you did where Cena just shows up to the set, like the Fiend or the Firefly Funhouse set, and then he just starts attacking him, like that would have been fine if the Edge and Orton thing wasn't already like on the show. But for what we got, I'm very happy. I will definitely go back and rewatch that at some point between now and next year's WrestleMania because that was just like a lot of fun.
I feel like this week. How do you not rewatch that?
Well,
Raw
yeah.
playing the Boneyard match tonight. Let's go. Part 3. And this is a perfect segue to go to what we're talking about next, the Boneyard match. The Undertaker versus AJ Styles. And yeah, what do you think? You want to take this one?
Well, like I said, it's just like I liked it. It was a lot of fun. Like we weren't expecting that to happen. Obviously, he came out on the motorcycle. AJ came out in like the hearse, and then he came through in the
AJ
coffin.
came out. I was mad. I was like, oh my God, Undertaker is going to come on this damn hearse. And AJ popped up, and I was like, there's still a chance. And then Undertaker rolled up with his Metallica and his motorcycle. And the moment I knew this is a dead man, even though he's on a motorcycle, was when he was wearing the damn bandana. I was like, all right, here we go. Like, it's going down.
Mm-hmm.
And like, this will be the match, even though the Firefly Funhouse was filmed, and they're both filmed probably around the same time. This will be the OG match that started off the trend if we ever have these matches, which I pray to God they do at least one match like this a year, or like every 6 months or something, like on the big
Yeah.
show, like SummerSlam Mania. Because
I
how do you not do this match? Because you
I
could
was
film
saying
that, and no one's gonna get injured or whatever, and everyone looks great.
what they should do is they should like film like on the bigger shows, so like WrestleMania, SummerSlam. You could
That's it.
have
That's two. That's only two.
yeah. Like what you can do is because those are like such long shows, you put that match in the middle of the show. You give it as like like you don't have to say it's an intermission for the fans in attendance, but use it as an intermission where if the fans gotta go pee, if they want to get a beer, if they want to get some popcorn, whatever, they can
So you're,
use that time because it's not like they're missing anything.
and if you just want to chill and watch it, you're just watching it.
Exactly. So that's what they should do. Put it in the middle of the show, use it as an intermission, and then the people at home, like it's not like a New Japan show where all of a sudden they go to intermission and then it's like, hey, look at that guy's like walking away. All those people are walking away. What am I going to do for the next like 15, 20, 30 minutes? It's like you get the best of both worlds and you have something on TV for the people at home and you have something in the audience that they're not just sitting there. And then if people got to go, you got to go.
So this was the main event of night one, the AJ Styles first ever WrestleMania main event. And this changed the game. Like I said, this match was absolutely amazing. It started off, everyone's popping big. What I liked about this is, one, there's no commentary. The
True.
wrestlers actually are able to tell a story. You could hear what they're saying. Like, you know what I mean? They're able to play out the story. I know there's
Mhm.
edits and all that, but like, you know what I mean? Like they're like that. They're doing the storytelling.
Yeah.
Like you can see every action. You're hearing all the dialogue. Every punch sounds good. Every like hit sounds good. You're able to do stunts like when Carl Anderson and Luke Gallows came out, and then the Druids came out, but the Druids were not for Taker. They were against Taker.
Hmm.
And they were fighting on the roof at one point, and you tombstone him, and they used the pyro like the flames. AJ throwing him in the grave, and him teleporting behind him in the tractor. Like
That
there's
was
so many
awesome.
things, and the thing is, like Undertaker had these special powers, and instead of like going black in an arena and him running around like a madman,
Hmm.
they're actually able to use his full potential, his full like wrestling character. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he
And
wants to throw lightning bolts or whatever nonsense that he has, right? And he looked great. Like Undertaker, literally all this talk of Undertaker should retire. Undertaker had the worst matches of all time. This made Undertaker the biggest star in wrestling. Like again, at what, 54 years old. Like I don't know how you not like everyone's been begging for Sting versus Undertaker. How do you not do that match now? Like film the movie.
I mean, if they would have done this since 30, like when he lost after 30, I mean,
Yeah.
you could have done so much, but I don't think they were like because they were backed up and backed with their backs against the wall like right now. That's what made them think about doing this. So it's like
Yeah.
as bad, as crazy as it sounds, it's like in a way, if there's any like light in like the darkness that is this time period, this was it for wrestling, you know? And I think
Like
it's like, AEW is doing like really good shows and they've learned, they've figured out a way to do, no fans in the arena. And then WWE now has this like, this thing that they can go back to if they need to. And it's good
like
and people like it.
WWE always wanted to be a movie company, and like everyone would say this is like Final Deletion, but this was like I feel way better. This was wild.
This was
Like
like
Final Deletion created it, but like this was like level up. Like this is amazing.
this is like hold my
Like
beer. Like
yeah, and it was like I don't know. Like I don't know how you not do this. How do you not keep doing this?
we'll see what
And
happens.
you said like this took away like no one like watching wrestling and no one in an arena. Like it actually made you glued to the TV. Like oh my god, what's happening next? Like what's gonna happen next? Like literally anything could happen because you're not in a ring. You're not restricted.
Yeah.
I don't
So
know this. I think the Bray Wyatt match should have ended WrestleMania, even though I know Drew won and it was a big happy moment. But I'm glad they ended Undertaker and AJ was the main event of night one because nothing would have topped that. If they put that in the middle of the show or right before the main event, like Goldberg versus Strowman, that match would have no one would have cared after that.
Well, real quick before we wrap up here, what did you think of the Edge and Orton match?
I thought it was long, but I thought it was fun with them brawling around the whole building.
Because thinking about it, like I know in the moment, I think someone said like, "Oh, this match has been going on forever," but I was like, to me that felt like this feels like it just doesn't feel long at all. Like I had so much fun watching that. Maybe it's because those are like two of the wrestlers that I grew up watching, and maybe it's because of the fact that they were going in different places throughout the performance center that you don't normally see. And it kind of goes back to the Cena and it goes back to the Taker matches where it's like, they're going they're like leaving the ring. They're doing other stuff and they're like, finding new creative ways to do something new. And, it kind of put it in a perspective where it's like they have this like blank canvas to do whatever. And their blank canvas was the performance center.
I think when they were brawling by the truck is when I started looking at the time. I'm like, oh man, this match is going on the while. Like when they started going on top of the truck, I realized I'm like, okay, this match is probably going to end soon. It's been going on for a while. That's when I started feeling it.
It was a lot of fun. It was like to me that was like one of like my favorite matches from this weekend.
Oh really?
Yeah. I mean like I'd say like if you told me like top 5 matches that were my favorite, like that would be in the top 5.
Oh okay. Well that makes sense.
Yeah.
AJ Taker I think couldn't be top. That was Omega.
Well, I guess if we're gonna go with that,
That's
then what would your top 5 matches from this weekend be?
I'll
Like
go
they don't
top
have to be in
3.
order, but
I guess a Taker, Wyatt. I did like the Rhea match. I did like the Edge Orton match, and I did like the Drew match. Oh, I'll take out Rhea versus and then put Owens versus Steen. Owens versus Steen. Owens versus Rollins.
Owens versus Cena would be a good match.
Owens versus Seth.
I would have to say the Cena, the Taker, the Edge, the Rhea, and the Owens match are kind of like the Rhea Ripley Charlotte and the Owens match. Like to me, that like they could be interchangeable. Like Kevin Owens like had that like jump off like the sign, and obviously Kevin Owens is my guy, so I'm gonna cheer for him at WrestleMania, especially facing a guy like Tyler Black, aka Seth Rollins.
Shirt. How about his WrestleMania 4 shirt?
Yeah, I mean, I think Breach said it, or you said it, like, I wish I bought all of them, like, each one, and now I just, like, get a new one every year.
I wish I bought 3. I wish I bought 3.
Like, I mean, I wish I bought them all at this point.
I don't know why.
But on that note, Justin, what would you say to your future self?
Write your bits because you have a show on Friday.
Oh. So we're gonna get like a podcast before and after the show on Friday.
Well, I'll have one on Thursday, and then I'll do the podcast. We'll do the podcast on Saturday.
Okay, sounds good.
We'll do one Friday before I got to do the show, and then Saturday we'll do one. So this is technically episode 12 because I'm counting those live streams as episode 10 and 11.
Okay. For me, after this is all said and done, when you go to the store, get like the biggest box of Crayola crayons you could find, and make sure it has the sharpener on the back. And that's it.
Oh, and Raw's showing Kevin Owens versus Seth Rollins.
Well, there you go. And on that note, I'm the best in the world.